Hello everyone, today I'll be presenting on how aggression is influenced by both genetic inheritance and brain chemistry. We'll trace the history of research on aggression, starting with the twin and adoption studies, moving through dopamine and serotonin research, and finishing with modern genome-wide analyses. For a long time, aggression was thought to be shaped almost entirely by environment, things like poverty, trauma, or family dynamics. And while these are still important, modern science has shown us that genes and brain chemistry also play very powerful roles. Specifically, we'll focus on dopamine-related genes like DAT1 and DRD2, along with serotonin pathways. The first clues about genetic influence came from the twin studies in the mid-20th century. Identical twins who share all of their DNA were more alike in aggressive behavior than fraternal twins. As Christensen noted in 1977, genetic factors contribute significantly to antisocial and aggressive behavior. These studies suggested that aggression might be partially inherited. The adoption studies help confirm that finding. By comparing adopted children to both their biological and adoptive parents, researchers found that aggression and antisocial traits often followed biology and not environment. Crow's 1974 adoption study showed that children of criminal mothers were more likely to develop antisocial personality disorder, even when they were raised apart. By the 1990s and early 2000s, technology allowed scientists to move beyond general heritability and look at specific genes. Two stood out: DAT1, which regulates dopamine transport, and DRD2, which is a dopamine receptor. Guo and colleagues in 2007 found that variants in these genes were tied to violent delinquency among U.S. teens. Importantly, this connection was strongest when it was combined with environmental stress. Other studies confirm these findings in very different populations. Butovskia and colleagues in 2013 studied the Datoga pastoralist of Tanzania and found links between aggression and dopamine-related gene variants. Kadir and colleagues in 2017 reported similar results among violent inmates in Pakistan. These studies showed that the biological basis of aggression is not limited to one culture or setting. While genetics identify risk factors, neuroscience explains how they work. Dopamine is linked to reward and impulsivity, while serotonin regulates mood and self-control. Rosal and Seaver in 2015 argued that aggression often arises when these systems are imbalanced. For example, too much dopamine activity combined with too little serotonin regulation can make someone more prone to aggression. Animal studies have backed this up. Knockout mice missing certain dopamine receptors show higher levels of aggression. More recently, genome-wide association studies have revealed that aggression is polygenic, meaning it's shaped by hundreds of small genetic influences. Koyama and colleagues' 2024 review on child aggression emphasized that genetic predispositions interact with environment. This means aggression isn't caused by a single violence gene, but rather by a network of small effects across the genome combined with life experiences. So, what can we do with all of this information? First, early intervention becomes possible. Identifying at-risk children can allow for targeted support, such as therapy, emotional regulation training, or stress reduction strategies. Second, treatment can be personalized. For example, someone with serotonin-related issues may respond better to medication, while others may benefit more from cognitive behavioral therapy. As Guo and colleagues put it in 2007, genes do not determine destiny, but they shape vulnerability. This science also raises tough ethical and legal questions. Should genetic predispositions reduce legal responsibility? Should DNA be considered in criminal trials? Kadir and colleagues in 2017 noted that biological predispositions complicate our discussions of culpability. And while genes don't excuse violence, they do challenge our traditional ideas of free will and punishment. To conclude, aggression is now understood as a result of both biology and environment. The timeline starts with the twin and adoption studies, moves through dopamine and serotonin research, and now rests on polygenic models that integrate genes, brain chemistry, and context. The future of this research isn't just about identifying risk. It's about using the knowledge that we now have to prevent violence and create healthier societies. Thank you for listening. These are my references that I used.